This is a summer holiday series of talks first released in 2008. It will be one a week through the summer holiday period.
Hello again, and this time I'm sitting by a mountain stream on another lovely sunny day, hardly a cloud in the sky, and I'm resting in the shade by the mountain stream, and I want to look at a couple of verses from 2 Corinthians chapter 2, starting at verse 10. If you forgive anyone, I also forgive him, and what I have forgiven him, if there was anything to forgive, I have forgiven in the sight of Christ for your sake, in order that Satan might not outwit us, for we are not unaware of his schemes. And it's just a powerful thought there, that actually it is forgiveness that disarms the devil. It is forgiveness that makes it impossible for the devil to outwit us. If we hold grudges, if we don't forgive each other, then the devil is beginning to get into our group, into our fellowship, into our church, into whatever we're part of, and he's able to outwit us. Because as soon as two people are in enmity, one person is not forgiving another, then there begins to be factions. People will say, well, I'm with Cedric or I'm with Cyril, and they will be slowly becoming two different groups instead of one united group. And that we can see all the way down through church history, where groups have split off, and to start with it was just a disagreement between, as I say, Cedric and Cyril, but then it becomes that they cannot stay in the same church. So one group forms a different church, and then that church becomes a denomination, and then suddenly we have what we have today, a plethora of different denominations and different congregations in a town. Even if that town itself only has maybe a few hundred Christians, they're in 4, 5, maybe even 10 different churches, completely divided. And though there is a sense to have different congregations because they will have different styles and we are different people and we want different ways of doing things, if there is at the heart of those different congregations a disagreement, even if that disagreement goes back 20, 30, 40, 100 years, then there is at the heart of it a potential for the devil to cause havoc and for the power of the gospel not to really work in those congregations and in that town. So to start with, we need to make sure that there is no disagreement between us as individuals, and that within any fellowship we are united, and if there is someone who's annoyed us, we simply forgive them. And the way to forgive is say, I forgive them, and then to pray that God would enable you to make that real. So you choose to forgive before you feel like forgiving. And once you've chosen to forgive, you simply start to pray for that person and ask for God to bless them. And once you've started to pray for a person for their blessing, you will find that the enmity and the hostility falls away. But if you're in a church and you're in a congregation and there's another one down the road, then you need to make sure that there are good links between those congregations. And if you find that there is not good links, that there is some form of hostility, then you need to come to a point where you say, we forgive that other church for whatever things have happened in the past. And we choose to stand together. We choose to pool our resources. And we want to see the Lord glorified so that the devil will not outwit us. And there's a wonderful sort of passage just a few verses on in 2 Corinthians, which I'm just scanning to look for right now because my Bible closed. It's I can't find it right now, but it talks about the fact that we are being led by God. Oh, there we are, in verse 14. Thanks be to God, who always leads us in triumphal procession in Christ, and through us spreads everywhere the fragrance of the knowledge of him. We are led in triumphal procession. The picture is the victory that Christ has won on the cross, finally being visibly seen by the entire creation. the day of glory, and we are being led towards that. He is marching towards that. There is going to be the great crowning, there's going to be the great feast, and we are in that procession walking with him. And as we do so, we bring the aroma of Christ on this earth. Unforgiveness does not bring the aroma of Christ. It is forgiveness that brings the aroma of Christ. For what he ultimately did was brought forgiveness to this world. And we need to be people who spread that forgiveness. Easy for me to say, looking at this water cascading down this hill. But it's necessary for us to do that, even in the busyness of our normal everyday lives.
That he's forgiven you. Ooh, how can you doubt that he loves you?
The music is by graceforall.wordpress.com. Thank you for listening.